Hey, flat earthers, why don't you go to the freaking edge and take a picture of the flat earth and come back. BT dubs in this regard. There is a geometric shape, a surface on which you can travel in any direction and never leave the surface. Anyone? Anyone? A sphere, a ball, an earth. Dudette, there are pictures from space of the earth. What is wrong with you? The ancient Greeks knew that the earth was round. They saw the shadow of the earth on the moon during a lunar eclipse. Why are you 3 or 4 or 5 centuries behind the rest of us? Go out there, take a picture, send it on the internet, carry on.
Hey Bill, can you prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the Earth is a sphere and not flat? Because I have a lot of Facebook friends who say that it's flat, and I just can't convince them. Thank you.
Is the Earth flat or round? Go to the seashore. Go to a seashore and figure out why you can't, if you live on the East Coast, figure out why you can't see Spain from the East Coast of North America. It looks like you might have a St. Louis hat on. I'm not sure. Just go to the middle of the Mississippi River and look south. Why can't you see the Louisiana? Why can't you see New Orleans? What's the problem there? Well, then climb a tower or go to the top of a hill or a mountain, and you'll see a little farther, but you will not see to the other side of the earth, places we know to exist. For example, I've been to London. I can tell you, other people have. I've been to Vancouver, British Columbia, and you cannot see Vancouver, British Columbia from Boise, Idaho, let alone from New York City or Toronto or what have you. Just start there. Then if you'd like, look at pictures from space where you see the Earth as a sphere. Those pictures are not faked. And I'll tell you, just if nothing else, here's why you can tell they're not faked. Just to create the paperwork that NASA has created, for NASA in this one case, just the paperwork to send anything out in space, to send people into orbit or to send them to the moon, that amount of paperwork would make faking it prohibitively expensive. No one could afford to generate that much documentation. Then the other thing, if you want to get into this, if you're really serious, if your friends are really serious, have them get on a boat or a ship and go out at sea, and you'll notice you can't see infinitely far. Furthermore, if you get into it enough, pick up a book about navigation or go online and learn about navigation. A very, very important thing you have to take into account when you try to navigate the ocean from a ship or a boat is how high you are off the sea surface. The higher you are off the sea surface, the farther you can see, the farther away the horizon is. Oh my. Now, this discovery that the world is round was made it was published in 1540. Now, I'm concerned, it was Copernicus. I'm concerned it might have been 1530, but it was about then. It was in the 16th century that the Earth was shown to be a ball. But it was known to be a ball by a lot of other people before Copernicus in the Western world, what we now call the Western world, Western Hemisphere. The ancient Greeks noticed that then 12 hours later in Buenos Aires at night, the curve, the shadow is always curved. So the ancient Greeks knew that the Earth was a ball. They didn't know to the degree of the size of it, to the degree of precision we know now. And you guys, come on. Everybody watches newscasts. You all use mobile phones. You all see airplanes fly around. You all go to see Ed Sheeran in concert one day in London, another day in Melbourne, Australia. This all depends on our fundamental understanding of the size of the Earth and its shape with extraordinary precision. And if you want to get into it, the Earth isn't quite a sphere. It's a little bleh. Its spin is a little bleh, stretched it, made it slightly oblate, as the saying goes. This is all susceptible to analysis, but spend some time learning about navigation. Tell your friends to spend some time learning about navigation. Navigation's changed the world, by the way. What are you wearing? You're wearing stuff that came from another part of the world on a ship. It didn't get here by magic. It got here through science. That's a great question. And I can give you a real science answer. The Earth is not a cube because it has enough stuff. It has enough rocks and metals and water and lava and everything that all pull on each other equally. And this, every time you do that, you get a ball. You get a sphere. In other words, if you made a cubical Earth and it was orbiting the sun and so on, after a few years, pick a number, a few million years, it would squish itself into a ball. And so when we study asteroids, we go out there with spacecraft and look at asteroids, Dawn, Vesta, Hayabusa 2. We observe asteroids that are not cubes but are very rough. They're very, they have irregular shapes. They're not balls. They don't have enough stuff to become balls or spheres. But you were alive when the first pictures from Pluto came back to Earth. And Pluto is apparently right there at having just enough stuff to make it into a ball. It's cool. So it's because everything's pushing in the same, or pulling in the same direction all the time on everything else. It resolves itself, or it ends up as a ball. Try this. Get some marbles and a big rubber band and put the marble on a tabletop. Put the marbles in the rubber band and just kind of wiggle it around. You'll see it'll become a circle. It will not, if you try to make it into a square, the rubber band will plink, will slowly bring it all back into a circle. And so a planet becoming a ball is like the rubber band and the marbles, but all in 3 dimensions instead of 2, in a ball instead of just a circle rotated through a circle. That's a cool question. So the reason planets are spheres or balls is because they have enough gravity pulling all the stuff together at the same time that you end up with no sharp edges, no irregular bumps. It's cool. Except it's in outer space, there's no sound, it just goes.
Just going to open this window for you.
Next stop, Plato, and Maria starts chemo next month.
It is basically biological chip, but it is in the tablet.
What's your
And once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field.
I feel I'd like to go in there.
Eventually, we have to face the final demand. Face the final demand. The ultimatum. The ultimatum.
Isn't it wonderful that we've found a way of communicating with each other in the form of podcasts?
I think it is.
And is there some love between us now?
I think so.
I feel love. I look at you, I look at your eyes, I think you're a beautiful person.
Thank you.
It's important, isn't it?
Very.
You're not going to say I'm a beautiful person?
You are.
See? He thinks I'm beautiful. He was aching to
I'm
say
not
that.
good in this situation.
Yeah, but your husband looks happy over there.
My husband is very good in this situation.
Catch him. Look at that, see. You've got to think on the fly, girl. You've got to be gonzo. Well, me, you, Valno, Harari, we are going to be talking about love, power, technological disruption. In fact, I've written down the three most important things. Nuclear war, climate change, technological disruption. They weren't written on that bit of paper. I just remembered them using my brain box. I've been learning. Thank you.
About Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's overlapping even bigger powers than ever before. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life.
Never let anyone take your joy from you. I call myself a joyful warrior. Right? Never let anyone take your joy from you. You do what you gotta do. And isn't that a wonderful way to live? To know you have purpose.
Some of his original supporters in the Republican caucus. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Let me update today.
That's all, Mark. That max acceleration?
No.
Man, you are really bouncing.
Is he on the ground at all? 10 kilometers.
Huh? He's got about 2 wheels on the ground. He's a big rooster tail out of all 4 wheels. And as he turns, he skids. The back end breaks loose just like on snow. Come on back, John. And the deck is running. Man, I'll tell you, Andy's never seen a driver like this. And when he hits the craters and starts bouncing, it's when he gets his rooster tail. He makes sharp turns. Hey, that was a good stop. Those wheels just locked. Mark off. Okay.
No. Dadgummit. Jack Schmidt having a few problems. Hang on. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rich with Inside HPC, and I'm here with David Bader. David's a professor at Georgia Tech. David, we're here to talk about the Adams Project from DARPA. What's that about?
We're real excited about this project at Georgia Tech to find insiders who may be on the road to going bad.
So, like a Breaking Bad, like people like inside secure people that are working for these institutions that might be on the verge of what, like becoming spies for the Russians? What kind of thing are we talking about?
Well, sure, Rich. We're looking for folks who are cleared may work at a clear defense contractor or within the government, and over time are up to no good, are going down that slippery slope, and we hope to find them and get them help before something bad happens.
So, if this is going to be before an actual digression would take place, how do you look for that?
Very interesting question. So there are a couple of real-world examples. For instance, the Fort Hood shooter back in 2009, who was cleared and was radicalized over the period of years, or the alleged source for WikiLeaks, who took documents out of a classified network. Those are cases where we had clues, and we aimed to look at those clues, put them together, and try to find these behaviors, these actions, before something bad happens.
So I would guess that, like in one of the cases you mentioned, that these events were logged in not even databases, but they're just diverse events, and no one connected the dots. Is that the mission of the Adams thing?
That's right. So at Georgia Tech, we're really looking at big data problems and high-performance computing, and this is the ideal project. Every time someone logs into a computer, touches a file, sends an email, pieces of information get created, and we take those, we collect them together, and then we run large-scale algorithms to try to understand anomalies. Those anomalies individually may overwhelm an analyst, but putting those pieces together, we may have unexplained events that raise the profile of certain individuals.
Oh yeah, go back to TV over. In trouble. But I moved it or not? No, you didn't move it. Looks okay, I think. TV still look okay to you, Joe? TV's fine. Yeah, you're on the TV, Jim. Yeah, I see that. Hey, let's go around. Let's go.
Sit and watch television.
And we're getting a picture on the TV.
This is an Apollo spacecraft designed for elliptical orbit of the moon.
But there is more going on in television than what you're seeing in prime time. A lot more. We have
poor quality TV pictures
offered by the government-controlled BBC, which are used to simulate
Neil Armstrong talking about landing on the moon with a microphone, and yet he's sitting practically on top of a rocket engine that is putting out sound levels of about 140 or 150 decibels.
Lights on.
You want me to really be honest with you?
Yeah.
Okay, Houston. The moon is essentially gray. Gives some hint of possible volcanic.
Forward.
Now,
Forward.
we know that that is absolutely impossible to overcome that sound level inside the lunar lander with a normal human voice.
We got you now. It's looking good. Over.
On all these moon flights, the broadcasts that the world saw were kinescopes filmed off television monitors.
General, what you see on these screens up here is a fantasy, a computer-enhanced hallucination.
There's nothing to indicate a simulation at all. Everything's working perfectly.
But does it make any sense?
Whatever pictures and sound were distributed to the public were strictly controlled and previewed by the federal government.
There is more going on in television than many people would believe.
It was technically impossible to do it.
And it's displayed on the screen.
To see how it works, please watch the screen.
Let's take a look.
You don't believe we went to the moon?
I believe it was a brilliant piece of propaganda.
I'd like to ask Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and I'm not quite sure how to ask this question, but when you first stepped on the moon, did it strike you as you were stepping on a piece of the Earth?
You want me to really be honest with you?
Yeah.
Millions of people watched on television.
$60 million each.
That Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
These two photos seem to have the same mountain backdrop. Yet, the lunar module is only present in one of them. Seemingly impossible, since the LEM never moved and its base remained even after the mission.
We see the ascent stage suddenly pop up without any exhaust plume whatsoever, as though it were jerked up by a cable.
Man, and they're buying it.
We had difficulty guessing how far the hills out on the horizon might be. The peculiar phenomenon is the closeness of the horizon due to the greater curvature of the moon than we have here on Earth, of course 4 times greater.
NASA could have covered it up.
This will never fly. Why do you have to build such a full-scale model?
Tang, the drink the astronauts took to the moon.
Astronauts to the moon.
You're a coward. We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the Sona Curlew what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
Neil,
I don't mean, not I don't remember seeing any.
Neil, you were.
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 I don't mean, that's nuts. I don't mean, sign them all. I don't mean, that's nuts.
We can see your hand now. We can see your thumb. Watch again at this pressurized glove as it bends just like a normal thumb would.
It's a little bit more. So we can see your hand now. See if we can see your thumb.
Seemed ways back again, extreme places I'd have known. I broke everything new again, everything that I'd owned. I threw it on the windows, came alone. Extreme worlds unknown, will part of colors of my sea. It's a perfect colored sea. Extreme ways that held me out late at night. Seen places I had gone, but never seen any light. Dirty basements, dirty noise, dirty places coming on. Seen worlds known, did you ever like it then? He's always standing in line for this. He's always standing in line for this. Oh babe, and it fell apart, it fell apart. Oh babe, then it fell apart, it fell apart. Same sounds that told me, held me out late at night. Didn't have much to say, I didn't give up the life. I closed my eyes, I closed myself and closed my world and never opened up to anything that couldn't get me at all. I had to close down everything, I had to close down my mind. Too many things could cut me, too much could make me blind. I've seen so much in so many places, so many heartaches, so many faces, so many bitter things we couldn't even believe. There's always stand in line for this. There's always room in line for this. Oh babe, then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh babe, then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh babe, then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh babe, like it always does, always does.
Alles so, wie man will. Das Leben spielt immer sein eigenes Spiel. Doch ich hatte einen Kamerad, der treu an meiner Seite stand. Warum er starb, das weiß ich nicht. Warum er von mir ging, das fragt mich nicht. Tränen sind geblieben in meinem Gesicht. Dein letzter Gruß an deinem Grab von mir, dein Freund und Kamerad. Es bleibt die Erinnerung. Ein letzter Gruß an deinem Grab von mir, dein Freund und Kamerad. Es bleibt ein Blick zurück. Gingen zusammen durch dick und dünn, treu an meiner Seite bei Wind und Sturm. Kein Weg war dir zu weit. Und hatte ich Pech, brachtest du mir Glück. Du gingst mit mir in die Hölle und zurück. Du warst ein Stück von mir. Doch ein letzter Gruß an deinem Grab von mir, dein Freund und Kamerad. Es bleibt die Erinnerung. Ein letzter Gruß an deinem Grab von mir, dein Freund und Kamerad. Es bleibt ein Blick zurück. Die Wunden, man vergisst den Schmerz, doch nie wirst du schwinden aus meinem Herz. Nie schwinden aus meinem Herz. Du warst mein bester Kamerad, doch oft wird es schmerzen an deinem Grab. Doch wir werden uns wiedersehen und neue Wege gehen. Ein letzter Gruß an deinem Grab von mir, dein Freund und Kamerad. Es bleibt die Erinnerung. Ein letzter Gruß an deinem Grab von mir, dein Freund und Kamerad. Es bleibt ein Blick zurück.
This is how an angel dies. I blame it on my own supply. I blame it on my ADD, baby. Sail, 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 sail. Now maybe I should cry for help. Maybe I should kill myself. I blame it on my ADD, baby. Maybe I'm a different breed. Maybe I'm not listening. I blame it on my ADD, baby. Sail, 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 sail. Sail with me into the dark. Sail with me into the dark. Sail with me into the dark. Sail, 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 sail.
Anyway, that's how I escaped from space prison. Oh, scary place.
Well, Rick.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. 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 It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Won't you grant us our liberty? We want our freedom. Give us our freedom.
Common line of reasoning is that the round or spherical Earth theory is propagated by some conspiracy.
And the number of people who think so is growing. You may think it sounds crazy, but in 2017, thousands, if not millions of people still believe the world is flat.
Scientists say that's actually a symptom of a bigger problem, and it's the subject of tonight's special report. WCIA3's Aaron Eads is here with us now. And Aaron, as far as conspiracy theories go, flat Earth theory is actually getting pretty popular.
Yeah, believe it or not, in 2017, the number of people who believe the Earth is flat is actually growing. Scientists might have an idea of why that is, and it's worth talking about. And what better place to do so than one of the flattest places in the country, right here in central Illinois. It doesn't get much flatter than this. Geological survey data shows Douglas County is the flattest county in Illinois, which is the second flattest state in the whole country. On a clear day, it seems like you can see forever, but you can't. Through the eyes of a person of an average height, the horizon is about 3 miles away. But that's it. You can go up higher to see a greater distance, but you'll never be able to see the whole world no matter how high you get. But there are ideas that this is a sham.
The idea spiked recently.
Leslie Looney is the chair of the U of I's astronomy department.
I'm very qualified to say the Earth is round.
He's also qualified to be concerned anyone would think otherwise.
There's the idea that when you drive from California to Florida or whatever, you don't see or feel a curvature of the Earth.
And that's why Looney says we've got a problem.
For some reason, people are against science lately, and that's beginning to show with illiterate ideas of flat Earth.
More than 100,000 people follow the Flat Earth Society on Facebook. Over the last 3 years, Google searches for Flat Earth have, at points, spiked to 1,000% more than what used to be normal. People in the United States are leading the way with the most searches. But don't take Google's word for it. You can follow the trend online.
We have NASA orbiting around the planet, where we have GPS working to tell us exactly where we are, which requires it to be round. It's very upsetting for a professor of astronomy to have people think still in today's world that it's flat.
But how? The Flat Earth Society's website has an FAQ page. First question, are you serious? Yes, they are. And they say the proof is readily apparent. NASA, a fraudulent organization bent on siphoning your tax dollars. The moon landing didn't happen.
It's almost like there's a logic virus.
Greg Whitlock directs Parkland College's philosophy program and teaches logic classes. He says the conspiracy catalyst is something you probably already spend too much time on.
Social media sets up an atmosphere where you're only listening to and talking to people who have the same belief.
It really is the recent rappers and basketball players making comments on Twitter, and it's part of this move that science is wrong or bad.
Both professors agree the root issue is science denial, people in large numbers asserting alternate truths, even if their argument falls flat. Flatter than Douglas County.
It just requires an open mind and thinking about these things in a clear scientific way and leaving emotions out of it.
The biggest concern with the Flat Earth movement is how fast it's gaining steam. To leave you with a scary thought this Halloween night, scientists are worried that Flat Earth could become a political issue like climate change, vaccination, or evolution. Guys.
All right, fascinating stuff. All right, Aaron, thank you.
Very interesting. All right. Oh,
my goodness.
So we're talking science stuff.
Yeah.
Weather is science.
We do it every night.
We do it every night here at about the same time.
Talk about that round globe and the weather that goes on around it every night.
Postafazoon. She's around, she's a firm, she's a fully packed, she's around like my head. She's flat like your head.
Another globey bites the dust. Another globey bites the dust. And another globey. Once you go back, you don't go back, Jack. Hit the road, Jack. You don't go back to the globe no more, no more, no more. I make the hit song now. Okay, we got this.
flat plane to see what I could see. I saw plenty. I went out to the flat plane to see how far I'd see. I saw plenty deeper. 6, 7 miles away. I saw a large bale of hay. 67 miles away. Oh, I went out to the flat sea to see how far I'd see. I saw plenty. It was not too foggy and there was an island far. 75 miles. 15 miles out. I could tell there was a drought. The cat on the port side saw landslide 90 miles away. That's what he said, and I believe he went out to the flat moon, and that's what I could find. Not a star. In fact, the moon seemed like a typical disguise. I went out to the flat plane, I saw plenty far. And I drove my car 75, 100,000, 3 ladies. Standing next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, which isn't possible on a globe. Many hours.
Never going back again.
Scooby-Doo, you're like, hey,
Back again.
you're like, Admiral Byrd.
Admiral Byrd and his lemon pie.
I believe in the globe when the globe is flat. I believe in the globe when the globe is flat. I believe in the globe when the globe becomes flat.
Whack, 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 whack. It's whack, it's whack, it's whack, it's whack. Whack, 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 whack. It's whack, it's whack, it's whack, it's whack, it's whack. Whack, it's 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 whack, 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 it's 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 whack, 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 it's 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 whack, whack, it's 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 whack, whack.
Neil,
whack.
Neil, I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
That's what I do. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
So how do we know the Earth is not flat?
We don't. It's flat. That whole area is called the Mediterranean. Well, Mediterranean translates to Middle Earth. The people lived there were sure they were in the middle of the Earth. That can only be true if you think Earth is flat. Well, we have many lines of evidence to show that Earth is round, including Apollo photos of the round Earth.
If you want to get into it, the Earth isn't quite a sphere. It's a little bleh. Its spin is a little bleh, stretched it, made it slightly oblate.
So it's not actually a sphere. 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 It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it.
What they have ingeniously done is placed the camera at the back of the spacecraft and centered the lens on a circular window in the foreground, outside of which it is completely filled with the Earth in low orbit. Here they remove part of the crescent insert, and near Earth out the window.
Mr. Armstrong, Bart Sibrel, ABC Digital. Wanted to give you the opportunity to swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Gentlemen. Mr. Sibrel.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that?
The other fella.
Lying about going to the moon is a satanic lie of gigantic proportions.
I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get...
I'm heading out. I appreciate it.
And get the hell out of my house.
To demonstrate that you were halfway to the moon when you were
Turn the camera off, please. Turn the camera off.
This is where you were using the window of the spacecraft to appear to be the Earth far away. We got the raw footage of it.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. You want it.
No one is
your camera working.
We now realize that perhaps the reason Neil Armstrong has never given an on-camera interview is because he doesn't want to lie anymore. What threats may have been made upon such honorable men or their families to possess their reluctant cooperation and later ill feelings towards perpetuating this still darkened hour in American history?
Mind control to Major Tom. Mind control to Major Tom. Control to Major Tom. We've fooled the human race.
To go to NASA and download one of their photos of the Earth in the moon's sky and put it in Photoshop, okay, drop the saturation and the levels down, you'll see that the Earth has been pasted in, because you'll see a rectangular box around the Earth. It's all fraud, it's all fake. Pretty much everything NASA puts out is fraudulent.
Because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
Well, this is the best photograph I could find from a telescope from Earth of Saturn. So it is up there. There is something up there. There is a light in the sky, but that doesn't look like something you could actually land on, unlike that. I mean, okay, it's supposed to be gas anyway, but you get the difference. That's first-hand. That's primary knowledge. Yeah, that's what somebody's taken with their own telescope. This is secondary knowledge. It's our work. It's suggestion again. This is actually the dark side of the moon. Going past the Earth. There's the Earth spinning. And there's the dark side. I mean, the only problem with that is the moon's supposed to be orbiting the Earth, not just flying straight past it. Your eyes aren't fooled. Yeah, you've got your own senses. Trust your senses. This is clearly CGI. But you go to NASA's website and they will claim this was taken from 1 million miles away from Earth by the Discover satellite. You will notice also that the clouds don't really move. The only problem with this is, when you look at it, you flip it horizontally and vertically, there's a word there and it says sex. And you think, well, is it sex? Is it SFX? Is it Is it coincidence, that, or what? Well, here's how I know it's not coincidence. Because if you watch The Lion King, you get the same thing, and it's not just... It's exactly the same way of writing it as well. It's the same animator who's done it. They are messing with your mind. It's just another example of it. Tiny on the horizon there. It's 4 times bigger now. Spent 2 hours showing you that there's no observable first-hand evidence that we're living on a ball. Things don't disappear over the curve. There is no sensor evidence that we're moving. The only evidence that you've got that we're moving is seeing the sun and the moon in the sky.
Around the edge is Antarctica, which is an ice rim that resides along so you can't fall off. Okay. You have to go over what would be Antarctica. Now, the rest of it is in the middle. Now, I'm watching this going, well, wouldn't the equator, which is supposed to be the furthest distance you could travel on the planet, wouldn't that be shorter than the distance if you went around Antarctica? So you got the flat Earth right there. The sun is over this plate that is the Earth, and it rotates or revolves around a center axis, and that way you get day and night on there. But meanwhile, oh, by the way, I didn't tell you this. The sun is only 4,000 miles away on this plate. 4,000 miles away.
Yeah, that's.
This is, but people believe it.
Just take a look at their facial expressions. They look like little mischievous children telling lies. What's taking place here is filming of another scene, another production. Again, they're not in space. Grid screen in the back during production filming. Get more of a close-up. There he is in the back. Same exact outfit, same pants, same shirt, and what do you see? This is a still image from Tim Peake supposedly drinking water in space. This is the entire purpose of this grid blue screen in the back. Basically telling you how they're producing it. Complete mockery. I can't say it enough. Let's take a look here at George Bush. Four-way here. Screen in the back. I mean, this is completely ridiculous how people can't see what's taking place. Try to explain to these people that believe in NASA, ISS, the moon landing. No evidence in the world is going to convince them. They can come out and tell them, we faked this. This is nothing but a production. And they will still be in denial. 100% busted. And they're actually exposing themselves. Completely ridiculous. And the masses still lap this up as being real. Even with this 100% proof, this is nothing more than blue screen.
Go to a seashore and figure out why you can't, if you live on the East Coast, figure out why you can't see Spain from the East Coast of North America.
Spain is, it's more than 3,000 miles away from anywhere on the East Coast. Spain is more than 3,000 miles away. How the hell would you be able to see 3,000 miles away?
Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in.
I would have a really difficult time making.
So, the flat earthers. Well, I've seen Earth from space, and it's clearly round. The other question I would have for people that think the Earth is flat is, if it was flat, wouldn't the edge be a really popular vacation spot? I know I would want to look over that edge. That's all I have to say about that. So, the flat earthers. Well, I've seen Earth from space, and it's clearly round. The other question I would have for people that think the Earth is flat is, if it was flat, wouldn't the edge be a really popular vacation spot? I know I would want to look over that edge. That's all I have to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
How important is the engineering, the fact that we've learned to build such a large structure in Earth orbit? It's sort of as if, you know, when a little kid is sailing their sailboat in a pond remotely, at some point that then person starts to sail a sailboat up and down the coast, and then they invent and learn and study and figure out all the things they need to do so that maybe then someday they can actually sail out of sight of land. And the station has been orbiting the Earth as if we're sort of sailing within sight of land as we invent. I mean, what do you make the hull out of? How do you navigate? What food do you need? How do you make a toilet that'll work forever? How do you recycle water? How do you recycle the oxygen? It's the main crucible test bed where we've been trying to grind out all the lessons that will eventually let us go to the moon, where we've been trying to grind out all the lessons that will eventually let us go to the moon,
Astronauts to the moon. Astronauts to the moon. Astronauts to the moon. Astronauts to the moon.
Fluoride should never be added to our water supply, and there are plenty of compelling reasons why. Fluoride harms the environment. 99% of fluoride added to water never touches a tooth. It ends up on your lawn, or down your shower drain or toilet. The result is waste that pollutes the environment. Fluoridation chemicals are toxic even at low doses. There are two compounds used for fluoridating water supplies today, namely sodium silica fluoride and hydrofluorosilicic acid. These are the waste products from the wet scrubbing systems of the fertilizer industry and are classified as hazardous wastes. Fluoride is also the only unregulated drug that is forced as a mass medication on the population, with no control of dosing or frequency. In February 2014, researchers from Harvard University listed fluoride as one of the top developmental neurotoxicants. 37 studies showed a link between fairly modest fluoride exposure and lowered IQ in children. The poison warning on toothpaste labels is enough to sound the alarm. A mere 1/4 milligram of toothpaste ingested and you are advised to call the poison control. Beware, that could be the same amount found in 1 glass of fluoridated water. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention admits that 41% of adolescents now have dental fluorosis, which occurs from an excess of fluoride. This is a condition where tooth enamel becomes progressively discolored and mottled. Dental fluorosis is not just a cosmetic issue. It can affect other tissues, such as your bones and brain, if they've been overexposed to fluoride as well. These problems are a real health threat, prompting 98% of Europe to not fluoridate its water. Fluoride can harm you by damaging your bones and brain, lowering your IQ, causing thyroid dysfunction, and harming your teeth, contrary to what is promoted. You can find this substance in your tap water, in your toothpaste, and even in pesticide and fertilizer residue on the food you eat. There are different ways you can avoid fluoride and its potential side effects. Stop drinking fluoridated water. Teach your child not to swallow toothpaste. Avoid using fluoridated salt, and stick to raw, organic, wholesome food instead of processed goods. Ask the pharmacist if your medication contains fluoride. It's high time to get fluoridation chemicals out of the public water supply. When over 99% is sent down the drain and into the environment, it hardly touches a tooth and provides the much heralded benefits. If experts and consumers are convinced of the benefits fluoride may provide, then it should be kept in the toothpaste, where it can be applied topically and out of the clean water supply. There is no logical reason to ingest this toxic poison in the form of drinking water.
Because you just read the words of a bunch of guys that you never met, and you just take it on faith that everything they wrote was true.
And what makes you think what your scientists are writing is any more truer than my saints?
Because there are volumes of proven data, numbers, figures.
Have you poured through the data yourself? The numbers, the figures?
Well, no. No.
Oh, interesting. So let me get this straight, Mr. Reynolds. You get your information from a book written by men you've never met, and you take their words as truth based on a willingness to believe, a desire to accept, a leap of, dare I say it, faith?
Come on. Look, I mean, I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Like, come on.
I rest my case.
Always question the scientists and their foundations.
At the moment, modern physics is not making a lot of sense.
What is everything made of? Well, oops, there's about 95% stuff we don't know.
Philosophically speaking, it's very uncomfortable. Because if the Earth is in the center of the universe,
that have a lot of money trying to keep it a secret.
The other question is, well, how come ships don't go off the sea if it's flat? How come ships don't fall off the air? Well, here's why they don't fall off.
It's a 20,000-foot sheer wall of ice, but that's never stopped me before. Risk? Of course I'm aware of the risks. Thank you for your concern.
Physics. Why objects move on a ball spinning 1,000 miles an hour while it's going 26,000 miles around the sun. Basically the model we're accepting right now.
The sailor thinks that he's traveling around the Earth this way, when in effect he's traveling around the Earth this way.
They began flying it around the world, from Abu Dhabi last year, with stops in India and China, then across the vast Pacific.
Does running around your neighborhood prove that the neighborhood is round?
Around the curve. That's absolute proof that a plane flies over a flat surface rather than a curved one. Horizontal, it never goes any further up, it goes horizontal, very, very low down in the atmosphere. You know, it's still in the atmosphere while it's horizontal, so it never gets any higher. And it goes out of sight, not because it goes too high, because it goes too far downrange. And they have a plane that's mocked up to look like a space shuttle, it's a jet-powered aircraft. That's it. It's not a glider. It's an aircraft. And that's what they're fooling us, taking billions of dollars in and giving us images and fake planes. for that 10 billion, however many billions of dollars it is. What goes up must come down. And literally, we have not ever seen anything that has ever gone up and not come down.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now.
We accept the reality of the world
to a what is gravity question, or why is there gravity? That's the best I can do there. I think that's a good start.
What? You know how everybody believes the world is flat, like a pancake? Well, they're all wrong. The world is actually round, like an orange.
The world is an orange. And?
And? Well, that's it. It's a great idea. It's one of my best ones.
Yeah.
Here's the picture of the Earth from space. There it is. Since you were a kid, you've seen this image. But you've never seen it from that point of view. You've never seen that with your eyes from that scale of a model, that point of view, from outside of the planet's surface.
What's the point of this grand deception? I think Eric Dubay explains it best.
People are always asking, why do they do this? Other than the obvious profit margin motive, NASA being the biggest black budget black hole in existence, sucking in over $30 billion taxpayer money for the fake moon landings alone. Nowadays, hundreds of billions of dollars, and not just NASA, but RASA and all the other fake space organizations around the world giving CGI images for hundreds of billions of dollars.
You want to put something in context. If you want to do something with $3.5 trillion, you can do whatever you want.
Now, let's see. How do we go about proving that? Go to the seashore. Go to a seashore.
Watch as ships sail away. They don't disappear all at once. No, first, the bottom will disappear. See? Science. Now, if you have a claim that can't be tested, that's what we call pseudoscience. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
Boats don't disappear over the curvature of the horizon. Boats disappear due to perspective. All you have to do is go to the beach, watch a boat disappear from your eye, and then whip out your telescope, your binoculars, or your high-powered zoom on your camera, and you can pull the entire boat right back into view. Whole mass and all. Yeah, that's right. You think the boat disappeared? Just whip out your telescope, your binoculars, or your zoom camera. You bring the entire boat back into view, completely debunking everything Coy just told you.
We've always believed that there was a Garden of Eden.
I believe in God. I believe the universe was created by God.
We realized that maybe Earth is more special than we thought after all, but for a different reason.
We live at a very special time.
Life is extremely special.
This idea that we're not in any special place in the universe, there's something wrong with that.
They went to the North Pole in the 1900s. This is 1482. Nobody went to the top of the globe, to the bottom, or flew up, or built a skyscraper. It's funny that we said that this is what we're in right now. This is what we're on before any instrument of proof. This is the first time we actually had like an instrument of flight. Actually go high enough to actually fucking check out if what we agreed to 500 years ago was real. So if they were wrong after 500 years, the question is, would they tell you?
I told you. Twice. You know what's gonna happen.
I do. I do know what's gonna happen.
Wants to know what would happen if the Earth stopped rotating for a second.
Oh, yeah, that would be disastrous. Disastrous, because right now, here in New York, you can calculate at our latitude, we are all moving with the Earth at 800 miles an hour, due east, because Earth is rotating. If you stopped Earth and you weren't seatbelt buckled to the Earth, you would fall over and roll 800 miles an hour due east. It would kill everyone on Earth. People would be flying out of windows, and that would just be a bad day on Earth. I'm just saying. if somehow we all slowed down, so anything not bolted to the Earth would fly due east, 800 miles an hour. That's what happens to you in a car if you hit a brick wall and you're not wearing a seatbelt. You keep going.
Hey, Mrs. Rumsfeld.
As many of these by now, so it isn't like anything you said this morning is coming true, you know.
Where are you going?
I can't walk to the next one without you asking me where I'm going. I'm going to Paris, France, okay?
Green sky tonight. Green sky at morning. Neighbor take warning.
Too many lemon phosphates?
3. Tiny, classified ads.
Of the Flat Earth Society.
To the flat earthers.
The world is flat. He then made a song about the world being flat. That song is called Flatline. Here he calls science a cult.
It's Wild Wild World. It's Wild Wild World. What's going on? I don't know.
Rise to penetrate city seals and search outside the dome. Rise to penetrate city seals and search outside the dome.
That a lot of the scientists thought that the planet was crescent. There are a lot of people who disagree.
Should we still debate whether the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
But
the truth of the matter
is whether the Earth is flat.
Is a great basketball player. I love basketball, and he plays. There he is, making the big shot in the championship. And I read this week that he believes the world is flat, and I thought, oh, great, he's reading Tom Friedman's book. Earth is not the shape of a basketball.
And that's just kind of. Nobody really cares, and that should be the biggest news story in the world right now.
And the moon and planets that we could never get to. Kyrie Irving says they lie to us.
But one of the problems,
what did we do to make people so cynical?
We can't ever solve problems if we can't agree on the facts.
Yes.
This one beginning with this. I read this week in the paper that there's a mega drought coming.
Yeah,
mega
NASA's
drought.
latest
Sounds like
study.
a group. Did you see Interstellar? I have a theory. Everything that happens in movies is true. Then happens later in life.
But much later.
This sounds exactly what no.
1984 didn't happen.
Doc, this is what?
Well, it didn't happen in 1984. It's happened since,
yes.
but not in 1984.
If you can find a way to desalinate water using less energy than we use today, you would get rich.
Beijing and New Delhi, where they can't breathe, they just wear masks. Wouldn't you want to make a fundamental
So
change?
things are going to change.
The food
in
is
China.
They're
fed up.
We're
Plan to pump sulfur dioxide into the air and reflect sunlight into space. Are you high?
Right.
You can't engineer a planet like that.
New lab. I'm loving me some Netflix on the electric internet machines that all the kids are using. Correspondents who've traveled the globe to bring us some astonishing stories. We guessed, we're not really making a kid show. It's for you grown-up kids all over the world. It warms the soil, the seas, and the plants. And some of that warmth returns right up into outer space. It turns out that glass blocks infrared light. It's one of the ways that greenhouses work. The glass lets light through, but prevents a lot of the heat, the infrared, from escaping. The carbon dioxide in the atmosphere does the same thing. But Bill, there is no big glass dome over the Earth. I know, okay. But there is a big gas dome, get it? Glass dome, gas dome, are you with me?
Sitting on a flat earth, not spinning on a flat earth, just sitting on a flat earth, not moving on a flat earth, not moving on a flat earth, not moving on a flat earth, digging in the planet, walking, talking, drinking, rolling, playing with cats on a flat earth. Living on flat earth, living. We are on top, sitting just still on a flat plane, and this is how it feels. It's not like in the sky. The name is NASA. They stop us from checking things out. That's what they're about. Right before Flat Earth researched, NASA was up, screwing around in the sky, screwing around, flipping water pies, squeezing out rags for science. $50 million a day, or is it 19 million? Like it matters anyway. Yeah, NASA's on a flat earth. NASA polices the flat earth. NASA polices
search around the moon must be made in twice.
NASA polices this flat earth. NASA polices the flat earth. Every president thinks that it's rounded. They need to be quiet, so they are not taken high enough to see. They are flat earth. Yeah, NASA polices the flat earth.
Ground and there's green grass growing all around, and green grass growing all around. Something? It's a tank. It's a sub. It's a plane. Let's put it in orbit. I'll drive it.
What are you, some kind of nuts?
Yeah, astronauts.
When the Three Stooges enter the race for space, everyone else runs for the hills. The first stop on their trip to the moon is a kooky spook house.
Looks like a country club for zombies.
You ought to know. You swept me off my feet. I'm being carried away. I'm safe. Safe in your arms, darling. Safe.
In their top-secret laboratory, the Stooges are safe from all intruders, except a couple of spies from Mars.
Who are those jokers?
They're actors. Lame brain. Can't you see the makeup? The professor probably hired them before we got here. Wama booba daigu! Yaba haba mama booba dagu! Take the machine at once. Destroy the Earth as you leave.
Destroy the Earth?
When the Stooges gum up the goofy plans of a gang of gruesome Martians, Who's to know who's friend or foe?
That's right! This is a red alert! Repeat, red alert!
How we fix the gas?
How we fix the gas? Well, the arrow's pointing halfway. I don't know whether it's half empty or half full.
Did you see what I just saw?
Now see here!
The Stooges versus Martians. Play Ring Around the Moon.